Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, restocking the Overflow room with and talking about it in the series Random Reviews. And oh my goodness, we finished the Z's basically with Frank Zappa and Ricardo Zand and I. And we're now working on the Y's. Now, one of the things I want to point out is I have with this series, because I've seen some persnickety remarks as usual, you persnickety people, is that just because it's not in the Overflow room doesn't mean it doesn't exist somewhere else. This is about half of my collection. The other half is upstairs somewhere in various alphabets and rooms and shelves and things. So some of the stuff is down here and some of it isn't. I'm making no pretense to completeness. I mean, think about that. Completeness, what does that mean in this world of insanity? So I'm putting away this stuff and we're at the Y's. And let's just get right to it. We have Eugene Ysae. Now, Ysaÿe was, one of the great Belgists. He was a violinist. He was also a Belgist, a violinist of the Franco-Belgian school. And he was, wonderful and brilliant. And he made a few recordings or something like that. Yes, his complete recordings. And he conducted as well. And here they are on Symposium Records. He led the Cincinnati Symphony, of all things, with a bit of Rimsky-Korsakov's Scheherazade, apparently, and very little else, just excerpts. But then we have his violin playing, and this is one of these are early recordings. I mean, does it say it says what the date is. It talks a lot about it, but they're like acoustical recordings from the dawn of time. They were made in the years 1912 to 1914, and 1919. So there you go. You can hear his playing, if kind of scratchy. And, I don't usually collect historical recordings in bulk. I have select historical recordings because there's scads of them, and most of them just sound so bad that it's kind of painful. They're kind of painful to listen to. So, I take it easy. Hey, honey, come here. Come say hi. This is Finster. We've met. She's hanging out with us while we do these. Hello, sweetie. I know, she's actually a very good cat. She's now 5 months old. And, we just got her. And her sister, Mildred, is over there, but Mildred is way too skittish to show up on screen yet. She's not ready for her close-up. She'll pop up eventually. But then we also have by Ysaÿe his sonatas for solo violin. These are really fine performances by Thomas Zayatmayer. Most violinists, when they're done with the Bach, sonatas and partitas, get around to these things. I can't stand music for solo violin. I just can't. It annoys me. I just think it has very little going for it. Sorry, folks. I listen to it. I know it. For professional reasons, I think I have to have multiple versions of most of it. And I can appreciate a great performance. We all understand, once we've listened long enough, what great violin playing is. And that's a joy in itself. And the Ysaÿe sonatas are they're full of, good music, but you have to take them a little bit at a time. I do anyway, short doses, small doses. And then we have his music for orchestra and violin, including his violin concerto, and his divertimento, opus 24, and the poem Elegiaque, and the Chant d'hiver, the song of winter, the berceuse, and les neiges d'antan, the snows of Antan. I guess he liked cold weather in his orchestral music. This is with Albrecht Laurent Breuninger and the Nordwestdeutsche Philharmonie under Velissar Genschoff on CPO. Is this not a candidate for the Overflow room? I ask you. Does this not define the term overflow? I think it does. And then, let's see, what else have we got? 3 discs of Victor Young, film music, very talented film score composer. And there's a whole series of stuff that's really wonderful. This is the original motion picture soundtrack on Vare's Saraband. Marvelous, the Rio Grande with John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara. Yeah, the breathtaking saga of the United States cavalry. It's breathtaking. What's breathtaking is the score. It's a wonderful, wonderful score. Victor Young did some really cool stuff. Here we have on Koch, another tribute to Victor Young. He did the movie Shane knew? Remember Shane? Shane! Come back, Shane! Oh, I hated that movie. But we have For Whom the Bell Tolls and Samson and Delilah. Ooh, I love those sultry Bible pics. Those were fun. Those Hollywood trashy things are great. The Quiet Man, and then something called Tribute to Victor Young. And then he did Around the World in 80 Days. I mean, some major, major films that he scored. He's not well known, like, Korngold and Bernard Herrmann and, Jerry Goldsmith and those people. But he was a presence, a real presence. And we have the classic film music of Victor Young here on Marco Polo. This is with the Moscow Symphony under William Stromberg. Those fabulous people who recovered so much marvelous music for us to enjoy. We have The Greatest Show on Earth, The Uninvited, Gulliver's Travels. Well, look at that one. And Bright Leaf. This is a wonderful collection of 4 classic Victor Young film scores. I'm so happy to be able to do, some of the film stuff. Because one of the things I've always said is that, one of the great legacies of 20th century music is film music. And it deserves the widest dispersal. It's harder to categorize and pigeonhole because these composers were supposed to write for specific things. But the best of them were great composers. It didn't matter what they were writing for or in what style. They were chameleons. And the chameleon school deserves its kudos, I think. And last but not least, in this particular alphabet, and the Ys. I don't know if this is the end of the Ys. Let me see, is it? Oh, I'm going to do one more. What the hell? Because after we get to the Ys, no, there's more Ys. We do have more Ys. Okay. Well, we'll get to other Ys. But let's see. Oh, Yoshimatsu. Some of you have mentioned him. He wrote a bunch of symphonies. A very fine Japanese composer. He was born in 1953, according to this. I don't know if anything's happened to him since. I certainly hope not. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 discs. Symphony number 1. Do I have them all here? Number 3. And this is the piano concerto, Memo Flora, which is really cool, by the way. White Landscapes, which is beautiful. Number 2. There they are. Number 4. Yeah, I think it's a lot of them. There may be some others I have sitting upstairs somewhere. But this was a series on Chandos that got very, very little attention. Very little attention from anybody. I mean, I put it in the Overflow room. That's how little attention it got. Not that it's not good music. It was just, a series, and I had to make a choice because I only had so much space upstairs or in my main shelves. So it came down here. But this was a wonderful series. It would be really nice if Chandos boxed this all up and released it at a decent price so that we could reevaluate it and so that people could experience it anew and give it a second lease on life. Because what good does it do to do a series, by a major composer and then not make it available? I mean, we've had that discussion, right? The ripe for reissue discussions. So there's Yoshimatsu. I know you were all, on the edge of your seats wondering if I actually had my Yoshimatsu collection. Well, there it is. And finally, I just have to have this. We'll wind up with this one. Mary Schneider is yodeling the classics. I have this under Y for yodeling. Mary Schneider is the yodeleuse extraordinaire of the yodeling world. And she does everything. She does overtures by Rossini, Bizet, and Offenbach. You know which ones. And she does the Skater's Waltz and In a Monastery Garden and the Hungarian Dance by Brahms, number 5. And the clarinet polka yodel and Toselli's Serenade, and Yodel and Waltz by Arditi and Lehar and Kreisler and Robin, and the Lullaby Yodel by Brahms and Mozart. Oh my goodness. And Largo al Yodel by Rossini. Yes, Largo al Yodel, it's amazing. The Tritch Tratch Polka Yodel, the Minuet Yodel by Beethoven, and Yodeling March Time, Sousa, Holtzman, and Kennedy. Mary Schneider and her daughter, Melinda Schneider, are assisted by the Conn Dawson Singers, the Sydney International Orchestra, whatever that is, under Maestro Tommy Tycho. Oh, this was so special. This is absolutely the party record to end all party records. And boy, can this babe yodel. And with that, my friends, we finish another in our random reviews, restocking the Overflow room. Keep on listening, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.